Hello fellow educators and Googlers. This is a quick tutorial and brief intro to using Google Sheets. And so we're going to look at a couple things with Google Sheets. We're going to look at how they work with Excel spreadsheets and also creating and some basic formatting functions of Google Sheets. So the first thing is in your Google Drive, you can create new sheets by clicking on the new red button on the side over here and then selecting Google Sheets. Your Google Sheet will open in a new tab, and it's pretty similar to a Google Doc in that you can name it up here in the corner. So this is a sample spreadsheet. And that will name it, and then you can also set the sharing settings over here just like you can with the Google Doc. Other than that, Google Sheets are fairly similar to Microsoft Excel spreadsheets, and we'll come back and talk about that in just a couple of minutes. So other things that people probably have questions about are Excel spreadsheets, because there's probably a number of you that use Excel spreadsheets. So over here I have an Excel spreadsheet, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag it into my Google Drive to get it in there. So it's uploading, and once it's uploaded, it'll show that Microsoft Excel spreadsheet in my Google Drive. Notice here that it's an Excel and this is a Google spreadsheet. So if I double click on it to open it, I can view my Microsoft Excel spreadsheet. And the problem here is that I'm getting a black border in the margins. So that's telling me that I can only preview or view the Excel spreadsheet. I can't make any changes if I try to click on it. So what we can do is go up here to open with, and you probably won't have all of these options. If you don't see Google Sheets down here at the bottom, click on Connect More Apps and then find Google Sheets. It's a fairly simple process to connect it. I'm going to click on Google Sheets and it's going to open a new tab for me, and now it's converting my Excel spreadsheet over to a Google Sheet. And I've tested it out quite a few times, and so far everything transfers really well. So up here I had merged cells, I have some basic formatting going on, and I even had a chart in there. And so notice that it moved everything over pretty good from the Excel spreadsheet. So makes it pretty simple. And now I can go in, I can click on it, and I can make changes to this sheet. So that's how to convert any Excel spreadsheet into a Google Sheet. First, get it into your Google Drive. Next, we're going to look at some basic formatting options, and there's a number of things you can do with Google Sheets. You can do just about anything that you can with an Excel spreadsheet except for macros, which is some high-level formatting. So unless you're doing macros, you can pretty much do anything you want with Google Spreadsheets. I have some samples here of things that are going on. We'll just take a couple quick looks at things that we can do on Google Spreadsheets. So first, here's conditional formatting. You can automatically have cells colored based on what's in them. And so if you go to the column that you want a conditional format, column or columns, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight both of these columns, and then I'm going to click on this little arrow up here in the top row, and down here towards the bottom, conditional formatting. And you can do this for rows as well. And it's going to open this side pane over here so that we can do the conditional formatting. I already have a couple rules in there, but I'm going to add a new rule, and I'm going to do a single color for this, and it's applied to range, so it'll automatically identify the range that I've selected, or you can click here to identify another range. So I'm going to format the cells, and you can format them in a number of ways. This time I'm just going to do the text contains, and then I'm going to put in the word conditional, because the conditionals don't have any color in them yet. And then over here, you can use a default style. I kind of prefer to be a little more fancy. So I'm going to go ahead and make that text italic, and then I'm going to change the color to yellow. And then I'm going to click done. And as soon as I do that, it automatically implements the rule. And notice over here, any cell that has the word conditional, it's made it italic, and then it's also colored it yellow. You can also change the text color as well. So a fairly simple process for doing that. Another piece of conditional formatting is the color scale. So over here I have a series of numbers from 1 up to 40,000, and I can choose to color scale those. So again, I would select all of the cells that I want to format, and then I'm going to click on that arrow and go to conditional formatting. And then over here I've already got it set up, and so instead of selecting a single color, you would select the color scale. And then you can go in and choose the color you want from the range, and then here I have the minimum point, the midpoint, and the maximum point, and so it's going to automatically color the cells based on the colors that I choose, and then here's kind of a preview bar. So that's how I did that. Also, Google Sheets work very similar to Excel in that you can put in simple formulas. So here I have 5 times 9 is 45, and that's this simple formula up here. I have another one over here where I added A4 and B4, so 3 plus 6. And then down here I have another one where I took B3 and B8 and then I divided them by 4. So you can also do averages and a number of other things. Sparkline is inserting charts into cells, which can be really handy. So I have here a bunch of data, and the data is being represented in these little charts down at the bottom. And so here's the Sparkline format for you. I'm going to go over here to my Sparkline sample and use that. And so you just basically have to put in the chart type. You have to put this in there, and then whatever chart type you want. So I can go in here and change this from a column to a bar, or I can change it to a line, and then it's going to change this graph down here to a line. And then if I wanted to change it, I can go back and change it to a bar, or I think it was a column, and it'll change it back to a column. You do have to put the maximum at the end, so I put max of 40 even though I don't have 40 there, so I could probably change my max to be something like 20, and it would still show up in that cell. So that's kind of a simple intro to Sparkline. And then the last piece is inserting charts. So over here we have some data for a chart, and so I find it easier just to select the data that you want for the chart. And so I'm going to select all of the cells that I want included in my chart, and then I'm going to go here to Insert and down at the bottom Chart, or I can also go up here to the quick link in my toolbar, and I click Insert Chart, and then this is my chart editor, so I can go in and I can choose to switch the columns and the rows. I can use row 1 as headers, I could use column F as headers, a number of options, and then it's going to recommend some charts for me here. But if I want more options, I can go over here and I can choose any number of charts. So I could choose for it to be a line chart, and when I'm clicking on these, it's just showing me a sample of what my chart might look like. I can do pie charts, scatter plots, bar charts, etc. So for this one, I'm going to go with the pie chart, and I click on the pie chart, and it'll show me an example of what the pie chart will look like. So there's a number of options there. This is a 3D and this is a 2D. So I'm going to go with the 3D chart. I can also come over here and customize it. So I can choose to make chart title. For purposes of this, I'll just call it a sample chart, and then I can change the font and the color, etc. A number of options in here. And then when I'm done, I'm going to click Insert, and that's going to put the chart right onto my spreadsheet. I can grab it and drag it wherever I want to put it. So I'm going to scroll down here just a little bit so I can put it down towards the bottom. And once the chart is in there, it's fairly simple to go ahead and modify. All you have to do is click over here on the pencil, and you're in chart editing mode, so click anywhere you want to edit. So I can edit my title by clicking there. I can edit any sections of the chart by changing the color. I can edit the legend. I can change it to be on the left or the right, top or the bottom, etc. And then over here I've got this little drop down arrow, and I can do a number of other things in there. So I can delete it, save it, etc. If I want to go back and do more editing in the advanced edit, I can just click advanced edit. And that's how to insert a chart. The last piece I want to show you real quick is how to protect cells and ranges. So I'm going to start over here, and I'm going to protect this entire range of column A and B from 1 to 23. And so I'm going to go highlight that, and then I'm going to select data and protect sheets and ranges. And then over here I get a little pop out, and I can enter a description. So we'll do a sample protection, and then you can choose the range from here as well. I prefer to choose it before I go in here. It's kind of user preference, and then notice it chose the range that I have selected, and then I can set permissions, and so these people can edit, and so I would click save, and now that range is protected. So real quick, I'm going to pop over here to incognito mode, And this is the same chart, but I am in incognito mode here, up here in the right hand corner. So now I can edit in this cell, but then if I try to go over and edit in this cell, I get a notice that this is a protected range. So that's how to protect the ranges. You can also protect an entire sheet by clicking on the sheet, and then you can actually choose to protect a sheet but not certain cells and put those cells in there. So those are some of the basics of Google Sheets. I hope this helps. If you have any questions, contact your ed tech coach. We're here to help you. And until next time, keep your Googles on and stay innovative. Thanks so much.